I think Audley's going to say a word or two.
Thank you for the fans coming down today. I just want to say I've got a couple of rivals in here. Come to the Audley Harrison show. And I just want to ask the public, if there's a question between Frank Bruno and Herbie Hyde, who do you say I should fight? Frank Bruno or Herbie Hyde?
Well, the former fans' favourite and still very much one of the most respected and loved heavyweights in British boxing. Frank Bruno was in the ring beside Audley Harrison.
Okay. I've got nothing more to say.
Harrison has asked whether the public would like to see him fight Herbie Hyde or Frank Bruno. Maybe he didn't even realise that Frank was there, and there is Frank, sporting a nice tipper and a nice safari suit, and very popular. And we thought Frank Bruno was a big man, and he still is, but Audley Harrison Duke is a real lump of a man.
Well, Audley's like in terms of height and size, he's like a super heavyweight. He's a giant of a man, he really is. But you know what? Frank Bruno is still the public's favourite. People would pay absolutely through the tooth and nail to see Bruno against Audley Harrison. It would be, in my opinion, the biggest domestic fight ever. It would be huge.
Well, it's been some 7 years since Frank Bruno was in a ring. He's obviously got to reapply to the British Boxing Board of Control for a licence, and that Duke is going to require a fairly stringent medical before they'll even consider letting him back in again. But certainly, whether it'll be good for boxing or not, it's a fight that a lot of people would like to see.
It's the most entertaining, it would be an entertaining fight, and it would be a fight that the public turn out in their absolute droves to see.
Well, a bit of verbals going on between Audley and Herbie Hyde is at ringside. There's a lot of chat going on. Steve Crocodile Fitch, formerly with the Mike Tyson camp, is using all his powers of rhetoric. I suspect they're not exactly Shakespearean or Chaucerian to berate Audley Harrison. But a bit of shoving going on. It's all got very nasty here at ringside, and there's no need for this whatsoever. They're threatening to land on top of us here in the comedy position. There is no security here whatsoever. And here at ringside, we're in danger of being trampled. Now, this is a complete nonsense. This is just ridiculous. There's nobody in here separating anybody at all. It was always taking a bit of a risk to have two people who really have no great love for each other in such close proximity. And I'm not exactly the smallest person in the world, but I felt a little bit intimidated by all of that. Steve Bunce, who's acting as one of our analysts, threatens to land on top of me. But everywhere else it's in fairly good humour. But what a night it's been here at Bethnal Green. Well, there's no doubt about it, boxing and heavyweight boxing does bring along some very peculiar people to boxing. Chuck, I guess we've seen it all before.
If you'd like me to step in and try and be a bit of a negotiator, I don't mind. I'm only a small guy.
If I let you up on my shoulders, there's Herbie putting in his tuppence worth.
I'm only a small guy, and I'm sure I could sort it out.
Well, there's still more people trying to jump on top of me. This is a complete nonsense. Herbie Hyde has issued a fairly straightforward and unequivocal challenge to Audley Harrison, who perhaps should not have got himself involved in a war of words like that. But alas, far too much about boxing seems to be all about a war of words and a war of hype and everything else. Harrison has done the sensible thing and has retreated to the centre of the ring, and Herbie Hyde and his entourage will, I'm sure, have to leave. Their purpose has been served. He's drawn attention to himself. They've knocked over the table on which all our statistics are, and a real riot has broken out here. This is absolutely dreadful. This is absolutely dreadful here in the York Hall at Bethnal Green. I've never seen anything like it. The security guards are in, throwing chairs. This is absolutely disgraceful. This should not have been allowed to happen. This is absolutely dreadful, and this does nobody any credit whatsoever. This does nobody any credit whatsoever. Frank Bruno came into the ring with a fair amount of dignity, but there's been nothing dignified or professional or sportsmanlike about this. Let's just hope that nobody has got hurt at all. But this is dreadful and brings no credit to boxing. And after a very good night of boxing here in Bethnal Green, alas, this is going to be remembered for an incident which is going to cast a major cloud over the professionalism of this particular sport. The tables on which all our statisticians and graphics men work have been completely trampled and smashed, and Audley Harrison has now come to ringside.
Well,
this is pretty dreadful.
Unfortunately, I think Herbie just lost his temper, He's pushed a lady in the crowd. By the looks of it, he's pushed somebody, and it's just all gone haywire. Everybody's just gone crazy.
Well, it's gone very, very nasty indeed. There was always the danger that something like this was going to happen. Far too many people were allowed to get to ringside. The security was minimal, and it's detracted from, well, a very good performance by the Super Olympic heavyweight champion, Audley Harrison. And I don't think we're going to get a word with Audley, at least not at ringside. He's going to move away. And this has turned out to be a very, very unsavoury evening here in the York Hall in Bethnal Green. It started out as verbals and it finished up with punches being thrown, and I think somebody punched one of the women at ringside, one of the supporters maybe of Audley Harrison, and chairs were then thrown, and it degenerated into a barroom brawl, which we didn't need, and the sport certainly doesn't need. Duke McKenzie.
Oh, it's absolutely, what a disgrace. You know, it really has marred a really good night's work of boxing by all the participants tonight. But you know, when scenes like this happen, it just detracts from everything, and it really leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth. The only loser tonight, unfortunately, now is boxing as a whole.
Well, this obviously was a sports event that's become a news story, and the man at the centre of it all, Audley Harrison, has been speaking to Gary Richardson.
Audley Harrison, what was your reaction to what happened this evening?
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say, you know, really want to apologise to the fans who turned out today. I also want to congratulate Matthew Ellis, who came to fight. And, you know, the first round he made it very interesting. And obviously the second round I showed some other skills and showed that, you know, I'm serious about where I'm going to go to. And I think all in all, you know, I was very happy, excited with the performance.
Yeah. What happened outside the ring, unfortunately, will make all the headlines during the course of Sunday and Monday. Who was responsible, do you think?
Well, the bottom line is, it's not about who was responsible. Everybody knows that Herbie Hyde's a loose cannon. And this is the Audley Harrison show, and like at the end of the day, I don't know why people have got Herbie Hyde sitting ringside when I'm kind of come out of the ring.
It didn't probably help, though, that you got into the ring at the end of the fight with a microphone and said to the fans, who shall I fight, Bruno or Herbie Hyde? Would you agree that that whipped up the fans a bit?
No, I'd say that what ripped up the fans was sitting a guy ringside who's not fighting. When he boxed on Tuesday night, I wasn't sitting ringside when Herbie Hyde boxed. The crowd spoke, the crowd spoke, and they said they'd prefer to see me fight Frank Bruno. That's an honest question. The bottom line is, that guy should not be sitting ringside when I'm trying to come out of the ring.
Yeah, but
Herbie Hyde has... No, 1 second, stop for a minute. Herbie Hyde has a history of fighting. He's fought with Michael Bent, he's fought at press conferences, he's fought with Danny Williams. 1 sec, he fights regularly at press conferences. The guy's out of control.
That said, Herbie Hyde was standing next to me at ringside, and Herbie Hyde didn't say a single word. He was standing there and he was behaving perfectly. The security people got involved, and the security people tried to move him out.
I'll leave it to the police to decide, but I'm sure a common assault took place today, and I'll leave that to the police to decide that.
Well, you're alleging that, and we don't actually know that.
The bottom line is, you can try and pull whatever scored. The bottom line, it was the Audley Harrison show. Matthew Ellis came. A big apology to the fan. Matthew Ellis came. He came to fight. It was a good performance from Matthew Ellis. The bottom line is, Herbie has a history of doing this, and it's been continued. I apologise to the fan. I also apologise to the television viewers. But what I would say is that this was a one-off, a one-fight agreement, obviously. Audley Harrison, as you see, I'm improving, and I'm going to get to the top. Now,
let me just ask you this. From a security point of view, Simon Block, the General Secretary of the Boxing Board of Control, has said he wasn't happy with the security ringside. So what do you say?
I can't comment on what...
Why can't you say that?
Because I don't know what you're saying there. I can't say. All I've got to say is thank you, fans, for turning up.
Thank you very much. At this point, we'll hand back to John Inverdale.